What is immunology? It is a biomedical branch that deals with physiological functions of the immune system in the states of both healthy and disease conditions, as well as the malfunctioning of the immune system. What is immune system? Every human being in its lifetime is constantly exposed to different infectious microorganisms. In response to these microorganisms, we have evolved a strategy to tackle these microorganisms and overcome the infection. This strategy is collectively known as immune system. How does our body prevent the immune system from attacking our own cells? This ability of our body is known as self and non-self discrimination. Now, let's see how this ability works in our body using NK cell as an example. NK cell stands for natural killer cell. So, when NK cell encounter a normal cell, it will prevent itself from attacking the cell due to the binding of respective receptors. Thus, immune response is not produced. Next, let's see what happens when the NK cell encounter an infected or a transformed cell. It will immediately start producing immune response and eliminate that particular cell from the body. Classification of immune system. The immune system uses two main strategies to eliminate any type of infectious factors from the body. One strategy is called as innate immunity, which is the first line of defense of our body. The innate immunity contains three main components. Anatomical barrier is one of the main components of the innate immunity. It is a set of physical barrier that stands between the inside of the body and the outer world. Once the outer line of the defense system is breached, the body quickly starts up the next two main components of the innate immunity. They are humoral component and the cellular component. The humoral component is active against intercellular pathogens and cellular component is active against intracellular pathogens. The other main strategy of immune system is adaptive immunity, which is the second line of defense system of our body. This is because it comes into play when the innate immunity is inefficient or not effective to control the infection. It contains two main components. They are humoral component and the cellular component. This is the overview of classification of immune system. The differentiation table for innate and adaptive immune system is shown here. Innate immune system is constantly available and readily mobilized to the site of infection. But on the other hand, adaptive immune system requires more time to react to the infection or the invading pathogens. Then adaptive immunity is antigen specific and innate immunity is not antigen specific. Thus make it act more rapidly than the adaptive immunity. Our immune system has a unique ability called the immunological memory. This ability is only demonstrated by adaptive immune system. Cells of immune system. We will start with a pluripotent stem cell. This pluripotent stem cell can become other types of cells. They could become myeloid progenitor cells or lymphoid progenitor cells. This dissection of the pluripotent stem cell will divide the immune system into two functional categories. Cells that arise from the lymphoid progenitor are part of the adaptive immunity. Several cells that arise from the myeloid progenitor are part of the innate immunity. But there are some exceptions. These exceptions will be explained later on. Then, the lymphoid progenitor can produce either B cells, which mature in the bone marrow, and T cells, which mature in the thymus, or NK cells, which are one of the exceptions. They are part of the innate immunity. Now, B cells can differentiate into memory B cells or into plasma B cells. The T cells can differentiate into CD4 and CD8. These are just proteins that express on the surface of the T cells. CD4 is also known as helper T cells, and CD8 is oftenly known as killer T cells. Then, from either type of the T cells, you can get memory T cells. Now, an element that is not really part of either system is dendritic cell that can be produced from the lymphoid progenitor. So, that is the adaptive immunity. Let's have a look at the innate immunity. First, let's get something out of the way that got nothing to do with the immune system. Myeloid progenitor can give rise to erythroid progenitor cell. Now this progenitor cell will give rise to RBC, which stands for red blood cell. The myeloid progenitor cell can give rise to granulocyte macrophage progenitor cell, which can become all sorts of cells. One of the most important cells that arise from this progenitor cell is monocyte. They can travel around the blood until they are told to turn into macrophages. They also can differentiate into dendritic cells. This progenitor cell can also give rise to another 3 types of white blood cells. They are eosinophil, basophil, and neutrophil. Neutrophil is the most important cell that arises from this progenitor cell. They are also known as polymorphonucleated cells, which is mostly abbreviated as PMN. And that is an overview of cells of immune system.